gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new edition of the TurnbucklePad Season 3. And I got two members of one of the groups that are walking around practically running over their opponents and pissing everybody off. Want to welcome JTW and NBK, two members of Gen Pop. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to us, guys.
Thanks for having us. No problem.
So tell us, well, how did you guys get started?
You want to field this one? Actually, we both started around the same time, man. I think me, Double A, and NBK all started about 30 days within one another in kind of increments back in 1999. Yep. Sorry, everything just hurt as I said that. But we actually all started at Windy City Pro Wrestling, man, which at the time that was, you know, business still being fake and whatnot. And, that was really the only place in Chicago where you could go get, you know, training and, you know, and at least know that you had a gym open 7 days a week to go try and, you know, perfect the craft. It just so happened, man, like all of us being rookies at the same time, man, just kind of, you know, all got cahoots together.
How long did it take before you guys really expanded your group? I mean, how many did it start with, and how did it get to be 5 people?
I think we didn't start the group until about 2 years ago. More or less, it just came upon me and Tony getting together. Once we got together, we brought in Deshaun. About maybe 6 months, 8 months after that, we finally brought in Lex. Maybe it was 1 to 2 months after that, I think we got Laura, who's not a member per se, but she's our videographer, so she's...
Right. Laura Lee, Voudette Productions, check her out.
That's right.
YouTuber shit, man, she's phenomenal.
And more or less, it just all came together piece by piece by piece, you know, just like it was supposed to.
Now, most fans, everybody's seen in pro wrestling and wrestling history, there's always been factions. Now, you guys have a group of 5. What would you say is like the upside and the downside to having a faction as opposed to being a tag team or a singles wrestler?
I think the upside is our camera guy's phone ringing. It was an A phone. It sounded like something. The upside is, you know, having a lot of people to work with, and that's the same as the downside, which is the fact that, you know, you got a lot of people to fit in. You know, if I'm wrestling a singles match and I got 3 people out of ringside with me, it's kind of hard to, you know, want them to be incorporated. I don't want them to have to just run around being cheerleaders, and the same vice versa. You know, we got a lot of combinations, which is good. You know, me and I started tagging when I first came back after a 2.5, 3 year hiatus in the business. And then now just, you know, with the recent launch of Anarchy Pro, you know, now me and D get a chance to work, you know, and I get some, you know, singles action for himself. So, like I said, man, there's, you know, not too many drawbacks, you know, but scheduling's always a conflict, which is why there's 2 of us and not 4 or 5 of us here. And then, like I said, man, just, you know, working a show, you know, you get certain windows, whether it's, you know, 5 to 7 or, you know, 10 to 15 minute match, and, you know, you're trying to fit 5 people in addition to whoever you're working, you know, so it's got its ups and downs, man, but I mean, having the cohesive unit, I mean, we've always been a clique, man, you know, I mean, this is family, you know, and that's the same thing with, you know, with D and, you know, even Lex and Laura now, or, you know, I mean, it's, you know, it goes beyond the, you know, beyond the curtain, so to speak.
What's been like one of your highest pinnacles? I mean, did you guys have a moment that you knew things were really taking off for you? Like a special moment for the group?
I would like to say Toyota Park, JTW versus Vito was probably the moment that I knew that we was like starting to take off. After that, we just molded into a team, went on. We haven't really gained too many gold belts or anything like that, because that's not what we're about. We're just worried about entertaining the crowd. We're worried about putting on a show. We go out there, give our 110%, and do something that most people aren't doing, you know what I'm saying, which is putting that intensity that belongs in this business back into it, you know what I'm saying.
Well, I know focus and heart and training a lot is one of the main focuses of this business. Would you say, do you still have fun, still get chills from fan reaction when you know you're doing something that's just really making the show?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it's always nice when those feelings come up, you know, I mean, I always think about, you know, the Undertaker said that in a interview one time or whatever. He said it was nice to know we could still get those feelings, and, you know, that's how I think we all kind of felt at Dream Night. Yeah. When it was really, you know, it was, you know, the PCW's 10-year anniversary show, and you know, there's just a lot on the line, man. I was in the main, you know, I mean, they had talent brought in just for them to work and showcase against and stuff like that, man. So it was kind of one of those where, all right, man, giving you a little something to work with, and you know, but at the same time, you know, you got my idol Bret Hart at the show. You know, you got you know, what was it, 1,500, 2,000 people or whatever, man. And especially in my case, of being a main event, you know, going 40-minute match or whatever, you know, you really got to make sure you live up to the hype, you know. But actually, these guys, I feel like, you know, stole match tonight or whatever halfway through the show. So yeah, I mean, that's good. And you know, cases like a couple weeks ago, man, Collision Wrestling, you know, I was kind of off my game or whatever, man, and it was nice to know that I could still be bothered, you know, even in front of 38 people. You know, I can still be bothered by not performing to the level that I, you know, hold myself to, you know. I don't give a shit what anybody else says, including my own family and partners, you know, because usually I'm my own worst critic. So, but yeah, stuff like that's nice still after 13 years.
Well, what are your goals next? What's the goals for the future?
Immediate goals, man, are just to try and overtake, you know, Chicago wrestling first, man. We all want to get back out on the road, and you know, I mean, it was hard before I took a hiatus, like I said, man, for a good minute. You know, you're out on the road, man, 3-4 days a week, and you come back and you're stuck at work for 3-4 days just to afford going out of town, and it's a vicious circle without, you know, a lot of times there being payoff other than getting to work a match, running into some other good talent or whatever, and you know, maybe meeting a new friend or something in the process. But you know, once in between PCW, Anarchy Pro, this guy's always on IUWA or UWC or, you know, Galley. Like I said, hopefully we're going to get into Collision and CSW now. And I mean, you know, it's just like people that want to go, you know, across the pond to Europa, as I like to call it, or whatever. Well, you know, you want to see the world. Have you even seen the States? You know, and that's kind of where I was before in the business, and that's what I want to get back to, is just, you know, being on the road, you know, every weekend, have one show, you know, at home, and be able to, you know, see all our people and make sure they're coming to see us, because they don't have every weekend to do it. And then thereafter, you know, like I said, man, just, you know, be on the road, and you know, whether it's Florida for FCW or Florida for TNA, man, you know, the end all be all goal is always to get paid and become a world name, man, just not a Midwest name. So.
Well, on our show, we always ask this question to all our guests. What kind of advice would you give to someone who wants in this business, or someone new in this business?
Go. No, go ahead, man.
I would have to say, if I was going to give any advice whatsoever, it would probably be make sure that you bring your 110%, your intensity, your heart, or otherwise don't. Because there's too many people out there that are in this business that don't bring that. They go in there in the ring and do their thing like it's just a job, nothing more, nothing less. It's not just a job. It's entertainment that has been going on for the past 70, 80 years, and if done right, every single fan in there will go home happy. If done wrong, if the intensity ain't there, half those people are going to walk away from a show like, I wish I would have spent my $10, $15 on something else. So put that intensity, put that heart, put that absolute soul into it, or otherwise just don't do it. Go find something else to make you happy. You know?
I still say go to college. It ain't even worth it. There's so many workers out there, man. I mean, it cuts down anything that you do outside the realm of, you know, a normal 9-to-5 or, you know, even third shift job, whether it's union or not. You got way more people in the wrestling industry, man. You go online, there's so many feds, there's so many workers, and you know, the talent pool, man, just every year, man, keeps getting higher and higher and higher, where it used to be, all right, there'd be a couple good workers, you know, a couple good entertainers, but you know, now you got guys that are a complete package, man. You're running into them in every state, in every city, in every little fucking podunk town, and you know, God, you know, the human body is definitely not, you know, God's intention, man, when it comes to pro wrestling. I mean, it's just, you know, after 13 years, man, what doesn't hurt, you know? It'll take you 20 minutes to stand up straight in the morning. Is it worth it for $50? Which is also something, you know, that you run into later. But, you know, anybody that's got the true love, the true passion, or the, as I like to call it, man, the worst drug addiction I've ever known, professional wrestling, you know, if you got it like that, man, then just go dead in. That's what we did.
Those are golden words to live by, fans. JTW, NBK, we thank you so much for taking the time out to come talk with us. Fans, you just heard it exclusively from two members of Gen Pop. Until then, peace.
GP, 25 life. You know what, baby.